Welcome to Mimeoplasm. Hope you're excited for some Soul Tie Reanimator. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, I think we're going to keep on this one. We have Death Shadow. We have Catacombs and Cavernous Souls. We do have Careful Study. It's going to allow us to dig a little bit deeper to hopefully kind of start making our land drops. Yeah, I like this. We're going to go and keep on this one. Let's get Mimeoplasm pop back up. And then playing against Karlov, so that should be fun. The good thing about playing against Karlov is you want to keep Karlov off the battlefield. So luckily we have, there's not a lot of spot removal in this deck, but we've got to go for the throat in the hand, so I will take that. Let's go and get the Catacombs down. And do we want to go for black-blue swords? It's going to cut us off Worldly Tutor if we don't. If we go blue-green, that'll keep us on Careful Study and Worldly Tutor. Yeah, I don't know if I want to. Yeah, we're going to go black-blue on this one. We'll go black-blue. I'd like to get Careful Study going. All right, let's go and grab the Underground Sea. Yep, grab the Underground Sea. Let's go for Careful Study. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Hopefully we see some lands off of this. That'd be, ooh, Glimpse the Unthinkable. Love it. Okay, let's go and get rid of Death Shadow. And do we want Liliana in this particular matchup? I kind of like Worldly Tutor in this one. We can search our creature card, put it on top, and grab something like Lotlet Troll if we need to. I do like Glimpse the Unthinkable too. Yeah, we'll go and get rid of Liliana. I think I like that. We'll get rid of Liliana. Okay. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. We are playing the Mimeoplasm. As Mimeoplasm enters the battlefield, you may exile 2 creature cards from graveyards. If you do, Mimeoplasm enters the battlefield as a copy of one of them. Then we get +1 counters equal to the power of the other card. Now, the thing to note with Mimeoplasm is that it says from graveyard, so it's going to be our opponent's graveyard and our graveyard, so we'll keep that in mind. Play against Karlov of the Ghost Council. Whenever you gain life, put 2+1 counters on Karlov. Then for white and the black, remove 6 counters from Karlov, exile target creature. Okay, see, we draw into Overgrown Tomb. Yeah, I think we're going to shock on this one. Let's go and do that. Let's go and shock Overgrown Tomb. Let's go for Glimpse the Unthinkable. Fingers crossed we hit life from the loam. That would just be absolutely wonderful if we did. There's no better feeling. Oh, very last one. All right, we're going to go and pass the turn. Loving it. There's no better feeling than once you start milling and you get life from the loam going. It's just you keep making your land drops and it puts you in a good spot to go for Mimeoplasm. We did cover both commanders as free time. We can talk about whatever we want. And that's going to be our graveyard target. So at this point right now, we do have Death Shadow, which is basically going to be a counter machine on that one. The other creature that we do have in the graveyard is going to be Sire of Stagnation. So that's something that we can definitely go for as far as being the copy of Mimeoplasm. Let's go and dredge life from the loam. Ooh, and we hit another target. Okay. So let's go and go for... Let's go life from the loam, Catacombs, Woodland Cemetery, and let's go and grab that Ancient Tomb, actually. It's going to go blue and then green. We'll get the Catacombs down. Now, with Life from the Loam and Worldly Tutor, we can search our library for a creature card, put it on top. We can dredge Life from the Loam to make sure we get that into the bin. So we'll see exactly what we're going to go for. Yes, I love it. Self-milling is always so much fun. Let's go and get the Woodland Cemetery down. Yeah, we're okay with that. Get down Woodland Cemetery, and then we'll go and pass the turn. So we'll figure out exactly what we're going to search up with that Worldly Tutor. Now, I did kind of change up some of the Reanimator targets that we do have in this deck. We did add added the Leviathan in here just because when I used to record that, we didn't really have anything to kind of bounce a bunch of stuff back to our opponent's hands. And usually, if you get down to the Leviathan, you put 13 counters on it, it's pretty good to go. So we may end up going for that. It may be a little quick, but playing against black-white, yeah, I think we're okay with that. We may need to end up doing that. Let's go and go for the Worldly Tutor. Might be running into a 4 spike, but who knows? If they do, our opponent's got it. I always get nervous when you tap out against the one little white mana. So if we get 4, okay, our opponent's not going to see it. Let's go ahead and... You know what? Let's go and go for the Inkwell Leviathan. I kind of like that. It's going to have Shroud. It's going to keep our opponent from in that trample. Yeah, I like that because we need to watch out for that exile ability. So let's go for the Leviathan. It's going to go on top of our library. Let's go and dredge Life from the Loam. Get that Inkwell into the bin. There we go. Corpse Connoisseur. Okay. And let's go and get the Ancient Tomb down. Yeah, let's go and go for that. Let's get the Ancient Tomb down. That's going to put us on Mimeoplasm right now. Yeah, let's go for it. All right, it's going to be 1-2 off Ancient Tomb. It's going to be 1-2. And that's the only downside to playing Mimeoplasm. Sometimes in 1 versus 1, you get into some pretty quick little matches. So let's go and do that. Let's go for Mimeoplasm. We're going to choose... Now, what we can do is we have the Inkwell Leviathan. That's going to be a 7-11. Plus the 13, that's going to be 20 commando damage. It's going to allow us to swing it. So we could go for that if we wanted to. Let's go for Sire of Stagnation. I like that. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we're going to make a copy of Sire of Stagnation, and then we'll go ahead and put the +1 counters on it equal to the Death Shadow. There we go, 1820. Okay, I like that. Kind of gives our opponent something to deal with if they want to, and then we kind of go from there. But yeah, like I said, that's kind of one of the down Swords to Plowshares. That's fine. We're going to gain a bunch of life. Go to 43. We'll kick it back over there. Like I said, we could have gone for that when we would have had Hexproof. It would have been over in one turn. So usually when I play Mimeoplasm, it's kind of like more of a let's have some fun style way, just because you can win really quick with it. So opponent's going to take care of the swords on that one. Have some life. Yeah, I'll take 20 life. We're back to the original commander damage on there. But yeah, that's also one of the reasons why I haven't recorded Mimeoplasm in a long time is, well, one of the main reasons I wasn't really happy with my main build. Kind of went back in and reworked the mana base, so I'm happy with where that's at now. And then I kind of reworked some of the reanimator targets. I know we have the Scarab Gods in here. I added Torrent Elemental in here, and then also Inkwell Leviathan. So we have that to back up on to go for that. See what our opponent's going to go for. If they're going to go for Karlov, once again, we still have Go for the Throat in the hand to kind of take care of Karlov. And then we still have Eye for the Loam to kind of start dredging from there. Another option we do have out of the graveyard is going to be the Corpse Connoisseur. Where are you, buddy? I thought I saw you earlier. Yep, there we are. So we can unearth for 4 mana and get a creature card into the graveyard. Usually one of the things that you want to go for, especially since it's black-white, is something with protection. So we may end up finally going for that Inkwell Leviathan. All right, Authority of the Councils. Creatures that enter the battlefield tapped, and then when they enter the battlefield, they're going to gain a life. See if our opponent has anything else to get down. Definitely going to go for that Go for the Throat to keep Karlov off the battlefield. Nothing to dredge. Grizzly Salvage. Okay, let's go and do this. So we're looking at 2 mana. We can tap the Ancient Tomb down. We're way okay on life. Yeah, let's go do this. Let's go and get the Opulent Palace down. And then we can also Grizzly Salvage. And we've got enough land drops to where we technically don't have to life from the loam. Yeah, let's do that. We'll leave Grizzly Salvage up because we could life from the loam, but that's simply just going to be a dredge for 3. And then at least with Grizzly Salvage, we're getting in the spot now where we might be able to kind of hard cast some of our main, some of the threats we get into our hand too. So that's maybe something that we want to go for. But let's see if we can't kind of draw something out of our opponents. Maybe get a few, get some +1 counters on Karlov, especially if they're just going to be swinging with +2 or something like that. And then we go for the throat. But they've got that Phyrexian Arena up and running and Authority of the Councils. This style effect is something that I didn't play with for a long time. Authority of the Councils and then Blind Obedience. That is a huge, huge impact on 1 versus 1 commander. Really good. I love playing with those cards. And, you know, I've been building, I built Mathis recently. And in fact, if you want to see Mathis, go over to the playlist section. I have it built. But getting down something like this, having your opponent's creatures into the battlefield tapped, has a huge impact. Opponent's going to go for Light and Shadow. Okay. Let's see if we can't get them to equip that onto Karlov. We'll do this in response off the Go for the Throat. I'll make sure we tap the Ancient Tomb down too. That leaves us online for Grizzly Salvage. See if they're going to go for it, or if they're sniffing out a removal spell. It's going to be 1/2 Ashes of the Abhorrent. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. Okay, so that's not really going to shut. We're not really casting spells out of the graveyard. I mean, other than Forbidden Alchemy. That's not going to hose us on this one. I'm okay with that. Okay. Opponent gets down Ashes. Let's see if they're going to swing in for 2 or not. And then I think next turn we actually go Cavern of Souls. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think I like it. Let's go ahead and go for the Throat. This is going to be our best. Our opponent only has 1 mana up right now, so we'll go ahead and go for the Throat. It's going to be black and then 2 off the Ancient Tomb. Get out of here, Karlov. And then we'll go ahead and go for the Grizzly Salvage at the end of the turn. If we hit something off Grizzly Salvage, you go for Mimeoplasm. We may end up doing that. All right, let's go Grizzly Salvage. Look at the top 5. The Scarab God and Invisible Stalker. Let's go and grab the Scarab God. I think I like that. And then Invisible Stalker is a great reanimator target. Yes, we're going to put Scarab God into our hand. That'll be a good backup if something does happen to Mimeoplasm again. Drawn to Baron Moore. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the Cavern of Souls down, naming Ooze. There we go. Click on Ooze. Now, as far as our reanimator targets go right now, let's go ahead and go for Inkwell again. I think I like that. Let's go Mimeoplasm targeting Inkwell. It's going to be 1, 2. Make sure we choose blue mana on this one. Ooze can't be countered. Love it. Tap for green. We're going to tap for black off that. It doesn't matter on the last 2. Okay, got Mimeoplasm coming down. We're going to choose Inkwell on this one for sure. I guess technically if we wanted to, we could choose the Leviathan to kind of send a bunch of stuff back to their hands. I think I actually like that play a little bit better. It's going to reset their entire board state. Let's do that. We're going to choose the Leviathan to be a copy, and then we'll go ahead and add additional +1 counters equal to, since Corpse Connoisseur, we can't really use it with Ashes, and we have a lot of reanimator targets, we'll just go ahead and go for Corpse Connoisseur as far as the counters go. Okay, they're going to gain a life, then we're going to send everything back to the hand. That's going to give us Inkwells coming across for 8. Once again, we're ahead on mana on our opponent. Once we send the Signet back, Phyrexian Arena, Authority, Sword of Light and Shadow, we can also get down the Scarab God and kind of start reanimating from there. All right, anything else? We're going to go and pass the turn. So if our opponent does have another spot removal for the Leviathan, that's fine. Like I said, we can get down the Scarab God. Let's get a mana count. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There'll be 8 total mana. So the following turn, we'll be online for the Scarab God to start going for some activations out of the bin. Opponent's going to get down Ashes of the Abhorrent. When our creature dies, you gain a life. Let's see what else they're going to go for. I would assume probably go for the Mana Rock to kind of slowly start working back towards their mana. Authority of the Councils, okay. And that's the fun thing about getting the Scarab God in here. I was so glad to get it updated. It's just it really gives this deck a second breath of life. You know, if something does happen to Mimeoplasm, we simply just get down the Scarab God and we can start going to town, go hog wild, reanimating. Okay, we're going to have an 8/8 body coming across next turn that will count towards commander damage. Drawn to Hall of the Bandit Lord. Let's go and push in for 8 first. Yeah, let's do that. Push in for 8. It's going to put our opponent down to 21. And it's going to be a 3-turn swing with commander damage. It's going to be 8, puts him down to 21. And then, yeah, let's go and go for the Scarab God. I think I like that. It's going to be black. And then 1, 2, 3. Anything else I need to go for? Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting Life from the Loam going. It's going to be 1, 2. Choose one off the Cavernous Souls. Get on the Scarab God. They're going to gain 1 life. Let's go and go for Life from the Loam. On Urborg and Temple of Mystery. It's going to be green. Let's go and actually get down the Temple of Mystery. That way we have it come into play. We could go for the Hall of the Bandit Lord, but it's really not going to do anything in this matchup, having our creatures enter the battlefield tapped. So let's get the Scry going, see if that's something we want on top. Yeah, let's go put that on the bottom. That way, at least it's not another creature that we want to dredge. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Okay, kick it over there. So we have the Scarab God. We still have Invisible Stalker to go for as far as a reanimator target. And then we also have the Inkwell Leviathan to go for with the Scarab God. Now, the thing with the Inkwell, it's a 7/11. Once we bring it back with the Scarab God, it's going to make it a 4/4 black zombie. So we'll kind of take away a little bit of its potency, but at least it's going to allow us to hopefully start pushing it at our opponent, or at least getting another creature on the battlefield that has protection from Karlov and all his +1 Church of Athos triggers coming down. Opponent's going to go for Light and Shadow, sort of Light and Shadow. And we also still have the Baron Mortar kind of cycle if we want to dig for something a little bit deeper, but I feel like we're in a good spot. Now, as far as just raw Scarab God activation, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll have 8 mana. That does put us in the neighborhood of at least getting 2 Scarab God activations. So we'll see what we can kind of hit off this Life from the Loam, kind of start going for there. Some of our other high impact creatures that would maybe help in this particular matchup, we Woodfall Primus. We can start kind of taking care of some of our opponent's non-creature permanents, especially that Sword of Light and Shadow. And then Lord of Extinction, he's hanging out somewhere down there, so we can get him going. And let's see what our original exile was. Okay, we chose, Sire of Stagnation and the Death Shadow was our main target off that one. So those are going to be exiled. We can't get Sire of Stagnation going. But I'm trying to remember what targets I changed out of this deck. I did add Torrent Elemental, which is another one that we go for, that makes sure all of our opponent's creatures tap, which kind of clears the way for us to swing in. So that was another good addition to the deck. Okay. Let's go and dredge that Life from the Loam. Do we want to go for any activations in response to this? We can go for 4. That'll be another Scry. Yeah, let's just wait on the Scarab God at this point right now. I'm okay waiting on it. I want to see what we hit off Life from the Loam. Hopefully we hit a bigger reanimator target that we can kind of go for. So we'll get the Scry going, then we'll figure out exactly if we want to keep going for double Scries to slowly start working towards that. And then if our opponent wants to chump block, they can. Let's go and dredge Life from the Loam. Threat Dynamo on the Colosseum. Okay. Let's go and go for Life from the Loam on that Colosseum and that island. That's going to be green and then blue. Not blue, it doesn't really matter. I'm thinking blue off the island. Main thing is I want to get that Coliseum down to get the threshold going. Let's go ahead and draw 3 cards. Target player draws 3 cards, discard 3 cards. And then we'll go and dredge Life from the Loam off one of those. And then discard 3 cards, Necromancy, Wood Sage, and then Hall of the Bandit Lord. Let's go and get rid of Hall of the Bandit Lord. We'll get rid of Life from the Loam. And then I guess we'll get rid of Wood Sage. We can just actually turn that into a 4/4 body if we need to. Okay, let's go ahead and push in. Let's go and push in with the Inkwell and the Scarab God. It's going to be a 5/5 indestructible. Okay, it's going to be 13 coming across. See if our opponent wants to chump block with Karlov. Probably not. All right, put their opponent down to 9. And then anything else? No, I'm trying to think if we need to do anything Necromancy real quick. No, I think we're okay. Okay, I'm going to go and pass the turn. So, we do have the Inkwell to go for, so we kind of get into the spots where we have one activation to go for with the Scarab God. So we'll have Scarab God coming down. We'll definitely go for Inkwell because it's going to have the Shroud. Opponent doesn't have any islands out there right now, but at least we do have the Shroud to kind of go for that. Opponent's going to go for Sword of Light and Shadow, protection from white and black, and then remove 6 counters from it. And then what else is the other one? Deals combat damage to player, you gain 3 life, return 1 creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Alright, so there's no creature cards in our opponent's graveyard. We don't really have to worry about that at this point right now. But we're getting, you know, well, them gaining 3 life might kind of cut us off that. But I was thinking that we could get enough zombies onto the battlefield with the Scarab God activation store that might allow us to kind of maybe close it out. Alright, opponent's going to be swinging in for 4. It's going to put us down to 33, and it's going to be 4 total commander damage. That popped up right there. But yeah, I apologize for not having a Mimeoplasm video out in a long time. It's just, when I was originally doing my channel and I was doing overlays and different stuff like that when I first started it, and I had just a lot of stuff I was doing at once. You know, you're starting a new channel. But Mimeoplasm was one of the first commanders that I built for the channel. And in fact, Mimeoplasm was the first deck that I got out whenever I took a break from my channel. And so it just makes for some weird games sometimes. Like we end up some really quick Mimeoplasm targets, or we end up these these videos that like I win, but it's not enjoyable as a viewer to go for that. Let's go for the Scarab God. Yeah, let's go for the Inkwell. I like that. We're gonna go for Inkwell. It's gonna be a black, blue, and then 1/2 off the Ancient Tomb. It's not really gonna matter either way. I have to tap it down. Get the Inkwell back on the battlefield. So it's gonna be us at least swinging in for 4. I'm not really seeing any other creatures out there. They're going to gain additional life, and then we can actually sequence 2 Scarab God activations if that's something that we wanted to go for. All right, get 2+1 counters on Karlov. Let's go ahead and cycle the Barren Moor. That way we can dredge Life from the Loam and just get a few more looks before we go for the Scarab God. I think I like that. Frantic Search. Okay. All right. Now, do we want to go for that right now to get an extra trigger? So they're going to lose 1 life, go down to 12. And we're going to be able to swing in. And if they got any tricks, they've got it. Yeah, we'll just hold off. We'll see. Kind of wait to go for those Massacre Worm. So we can get that down. It's going to be a 6/5 body. We can simply just hard cast it. It's going to keep us off a couple different triggers. Yeah, let's go ahead and put that... I'm going to draw into it. Yeah, let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. I didn't really do much in this particular matchup. Ooh, draw into Grave Titan. There we go. Okay. Let's go and push in, see if our opponent has anything to show for it. We can go for some last-minute activations if we need to, and then we can also get the Grave Titan down to kind of buff up the Scarab God. But we'll go and push in for lethal, see if they have anything to show for it. Keep our graveyard fingers crossed that this is good. And then... It always makes me nervous when people swing in and... Okay, there we go. All right. Because I can't tell if they're just letting us swing in to Fairy's Protection. Can't change. They gave face out. Okay. Everything faces out. We're not going to be able to deal any damage. They go down to 12. You know what? Let's go ahead and go for Grave Titan. I think I like that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for Grave Titan. That's going to be 1/2. It's going to be black. Get those zombies going. I don't think we're overextending on this one. Because that puts us into spots where we might be able to get enough activations off that. Let's tap for 1 off the Cavern of Souls. Get down Grave Titan. There's going to be a couple more zombies on the battlefield. Again, going to gain a little bit more life off of that one. No, well, not with their stuff phased out. Do you want to go for the Barren Moor to cycle? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for Barren Moor. And we'll go and grab the Coliseum and then the Harbor. It's going to be green. Tap that down. And then I don't think we're going to get down Urborg just yet. Let's go and get down the... Well, we need a black source. Yeah, we're just going to get down Urborg. Okay. Anything else? We're going to go and pass the turn. So, we're Baron more in the hand, which we can use that to cycle, which allows us to dredge life from the loam. At this point right now, as far as zombies go, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 zombies. So, we can at least kind of stop our opponent with the upkeep on the Scarab God for 4. That's going to put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be 9. So, we're still looking at 2 activations from the Scarab God. So, let's say we're going to go for the Scarab God activations. That's 2 zombies during our next upkeep. We can scry a bunch. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me, Scarab God's not a zombie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll get rid of half of their life total. So, see what we can kind of show for it. I'm just going to be swinging in with the Karlov. That'll put us at 12 total commander damage. That's fun. But either way, it's been fun. If our opponent gets it, they get it. Swing in for 8, get the Sword of Light and Shadow trigger coming across. And that's one of the fun things about playing against Karlov, is it's such a grindy matchup, man. Alright, get the 2+1 counters on there. Now that will allow them to go for the activation of remove 6 counters from it, exile target creature. But at this point right now, they almost need some sort of board wipe to stop us from swinging in next turn. Unless they have some sort of, fogging effect or another kind of Teferi's Protection style effect, which I'm not really sure what there would be out there like that. But more than likely, I would see probably an activation. Oh, going to go for the Inkwell. Okay. Let's go ahead and, yeah, that's fine. So we can send Mimeoplasm back to the command zone. And then we don't have, even if we did have a haste option like Spirit of the Night, with both of these, putting our creatures into play tap's not going to do much on that one. Get Mimeoplasm down there. See what they're casting now. And that's going to be 5, it's going to be 11. Destroy target creature or enchantment, okay. That puts us on Necromancy. They're going to gain 1 life. Okay, now with Necromancy, we can cast it as though it had Flash. They're going to gain 2 counters. All right, that's going to put them at 2 total mana. That's going to be 3 zombies. Grave Titan's not a zombie, it's a giant. We'll see what we got. All right, opponent's going to go for Blind Obedience. Let's go ahead and cycle the Baron more to get to our end step. We'll dredge that life from the loam. And then we're at 52 cards in our library, so that's some pretty good milling action for today. I like it. All right, we're going to cycle the Baron Moor, dredge life from the loam, and then let's go ahead and, in response to that, we're going to Necromancy 1, 2. We're going to Necromancy on Grave Titan. That way we get a little bit extra on these Scarab God activations. I like that. But either way, our opponent's tapped out, so we'll get those zombies. They'll gain a little bit extra life, but we'll get that. It'll basically kind of negate that life gain, and we'll be able to swing in. Always yield. Put those 2 counters on Karlov. And that's going to be 1. That's going to be 1. That's going to be 5. Let's go ahead and put the Victimize. We're going to put that on the bottom for right now. Marsh Flat's on the bottom. Put that on the bottom. There we go. Okay. And draw 2 Birds of Paradise. So that's going to be 8 coming across. It's going to be 13. Let's go ahead and push in with the Scarab God. You know what? I think I missed. I think if we had gone for, we would have had enough, we would have swung in. Okay, so that's going to get really close to commander damage. It's going to be 8. Let's go and push in with the 2 zombies. Protection from white and black. So we're going to hold them back. Yeah, dang it. Sorry about that. What we could have done is if we would have reanimated 1 more creature and got an extra, no, excuse me, it would have canceled out with the gain of life whenever it enters the battlefield. Okay, we're going to be pushing it for 9. Put our opponent down to 5. And then let's go down the Colosseum. Let's go for Life from the Loam. That way we can get another dredge going. Let's go for Bayou, Baron Moor, and Watery Grave. Tap the Urborg down. And then we'll have to sacrifice the Grave Titan, and we can actually reanimate it again if we need to. Okay. We're going to go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, I got kind of mixed up. I thought we could have reanimated another creature to give us enough things, but once it went into the battlefield, it wouldn't really stop that with that Blind Obedience out there. Okay, get a gain of life, go to 6, put a couple additional counters on there. And then the Inkwell Leviathan, since it does have Shroud, they're not going to be able to chump block, and we're going to be able to get around the Sword of Light and Shadow. So that's going to give us enough protection from white and black. So it's going to allow us to kind of stop that from coming across. Then hopefully we'll have enough with the Scarab God, or we can go for some Scarab God activations in response to that. Now with Blood Baron, they're really far away from 30 life, but it's going to have protection from white and black. If they want to, they can shift the Lightning Greaves over onto the actual Blood Baron itself. So that'll allow it to kind of start coming in hot if they want to with the Blood Baron. But it's going to put them at 2 mana, especially off that Blind Obedience trigger with 1 card left in the hand. All right, opponent's going to get down Blood Baron. We'll see if they're going to go for the Lightning Greaves shift or not. Equip it for 0, okay. But I think at this point right now, we just simply want to go Grave Titan Beat Sticks. We can go Grave Titan, bring it back. It's going to be a 4/4 body. That's going to be 2 more zombies. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to gain a little bit of life, but that should be enough for us to kind of push past all of our creatures out there, especially if they simply just swing in. Yeah, I think that'll be enough. We go for the activation off the Scarab God, bring back Grave Titan. That'll be enough life loss at the beginning of their upkeep, and they simply only have 2 bodies on the battlefield. Now, that does leave them with at least remove 6 counters from Karlov to kind of take care of a creature. They're tapping out for 2. They're going to equip the Sword of Light and Shadow onto Blood Baron. Okay. It's going to be a 6/6 body. I think with them being tapped out, that should be enough. Protection, lifelink, protection from white and black. We can chump block with the Inkwell Leviathan. We'll have the triggers during our upkeep. The main thing I was concerned about was them getting rid of the Scarab God off Karlov with that activation. All right, swinging with the 6/5, they're going to gain a little bit of life. Do we want to chump block with Inkwell? We'll stop that life because they're not going to gain that life if we do block. Oh, there we go. Okay, the Inkwell Leviathan. Sorry, it's a black zombie from the Scarab. I was trying to figure out why we could not block, and then I realized that it's a black zombie in addition to its other type. I was thinking that it was white. Okay, there we go. All right, opponent's going to be swinging in for 6. They're going to get that life gain trigger. Sorry, for a second, I was just like, what is going on? There we go. And then we have long games like this, it's commentary kind of starts to fizzle out a little bit towards the end. They're going to get those +1 counters on Karlov. Swinging for 6. And then let's go ahead and go for that, go for the Scarab God activation. Yeah, let's go for the Grave Titan. That's going to be black, blue, then 1 and 2. Bring back Grave Titan. You're going to gain some life off of that. But the main thing is that we'll get those extra bodies on the battlefield for the Scarab God. Always yield to that. That's going to put him back up to, then always yield. Okay, puts him at 19. So at this point right now, we've got, it's going to lose X life, where X is the number of zombies that you control. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can swing it across with 10. They're tapped out. They just have a 24/24 right now. Yeah, I don't necessarily think we need to go for any sort of activations at this point right now, because they're just going to gain that life and it's coming to play tapped. All right, that's going to be 6 Scry. Let's go ahead and put, yeah, I think we're just going to put these onto the bottom. Yeah, put them on the bottom, breeding pools, hoping to grab Living Death. But Living Death may actually be into the, it's actually in the bin. Put that on the bottom, Dakmor Salvage on the bottom. Go ahead and put Rites of Refusal. Put Swan Song on the bottom, Hedron Crab on the bottom, then Lightning Greaves on the bottom. We'll draw into that, put it on top. There we go. Draw into that Rites of Refusal. That way we have a little bit of counter backup on this one. Don't want to dredge that. We'll have Rites of Refusal. And then let's go ahead and push in with the whole crew. That's going to be 11. They only have 1 body to swing across. That should be enough right there. Okay, swing with the whole crew. Get 2 more zombies onto the battlefield too. They're going to gain a little bit of life off that. Puts them up at 13. But at this point right now, yeah, that should be enough. And sorry if I'm overly cautious as far as the last turn of the game. It's kind of one of those things where we're at turn 11. Been giving commentary this whole time. I'm like, want to make sure that I'm not missing something. But yeah, that should be enough. All right, put our opponent down to -7 with a long game right there. Yeah, sorry about that. Towards the end, like, I get into the spots where I'm like, I get so worried that I'm going to just mess up this long game because I just overlooked something, or I'm just completely missing something right in front of my eyes. But we finally do close it out. We get some good reanimation going with the Scarab God. Get on Grave Titan, get some good zombies going too. And welcome, Mimeoplasm. Glad to have you back. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.